ChatGPT, a game changer for sure, but what else? A threat? A chance? Well, welcome everybody. I'm very happy to have you here. Today we want to talk about AI and even more specifically about ChatGPT, one of the hottest tech trends and definitely something that will change our lives. My name is Romuald Członkowski. I'm a customer success lead at Boldare and also a great fan of AI technology and the recent changes that we observe around us. First, a word of introduction. This interview is a part of activities for the Agile Product Builders community, recently set up by Boldare. We support those who design, create, or build digital products on the one hand, and those who need these products on the other side. We believe that sharing knowledge, ideas, and inspiration is important to help others along the way. Experienced digital product builders are the crux of our tribe. They are keen to share the knowledge, ideas, and inspiration to support others. Together, we are building a trustworthy, non-commercial space. If this sounds interesting, we would like to invite you to join on our Slack. We have just posted the link on our chat. Okay, let me introduce our guest, Krzysztof Osiński. Krzysztof is a senior VP at DTIQ. Please tell a few words about yourself.
Hi, Romek. Thank you for having me. Basically, short about me, that's 20 plus years in the market, IT. I don't know if it's something I should be proud of or not in terms of the age. Currently at DTIQ, previously at the largest energy companies in Europe, Polish Tauron or Swedish Vattenfall. Let me also tell you about the DTIQ and our relationship with AI, because that's something is connected with today's talk. In a nutshell, the DTIQ is a leader in the area of loss prevention services, and our customers are QSRs and retail networks. And we help them to improve their profitability by identifying various types of incidents, including employee theft, hygiene, etc. And this is where technology comes in. We develop video and point of sales data processing systems, later on used by our clients and an audit team. And of course, to automate this, we use ML and AI technologies. In short, we have been building these type of solutions for the last 3 years. So basically, I think that my team and I personally already have experience that help us to evaluate technologies such as ChatGPT.
Great to have you. Great to have you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. And let's jump straight to the topic of ChatGPT. This application, this tool, this model is everywhere these days. But what is ChatGPT and what it isn't? Like, can you explain in a plain words?
Yeah, so you are correct. That's everywhere today. It's hard to open any news portal and don't hear about the ChatGPT and the new discoveries around that. But also that we need to be aware what is, as your example, the exact question. So what is it and what is not? So what is not first? Definitely, it is not the Skynet, self-aware AI known from the Terminator movie for some of us. This is also not the technology that solves any problem alone. That needs to be clearly stated. And it can also interpret the results and build a new knowledge on top of it. So every query that's more like searching the database and giving the results in the best way. So also the results and the solution. So jumping into what is it really? So not to go deeply into technical aspects about what are the neural networks and what are the principles of machine learning. In short, we can say that the ChatGPT is a solution developed by OpenAI and is based on the text autocomplete algorithm. Name is GPT, and the third version. generative pre-trained transformer, which automatically completes text on the basis of received prompts. What does that mean? That means that the solution used the machine learning techniques applied in natural language processing. And roughly speaking, is a very powerful human language simulator, I can call it, that used a huge database of the information. And that database is used to help you find the answer to your question, and also prepare it to answer you with a full sentence, even solution, exactly as we humans do. So that's the job that ChatGPT does, and then that's why we can also have a very nice conversation with ChatGPT.
Right.
This is outstanding. That's they can talk, and sometimes if you follow the questions and answer, then it can take minutes that you feel like you talk with other person, not really technology on other side.
So using this technology, it's really important to remember its capabilities. Like fact checking, you really should do that when you use ChatGPT. The other day, I was my son asked me a question like, is Mars bigger than Mercury, the planets? And I was just wondering, okay, by how much, right? Is it 3 times bigger? It's what is that? And I asked ChatGPT, and he responded just the reverse. So he responded that Mercury is a bigger dwarf planet than Mars. And I just said, I replied, hey, this is not true. And he says, okay, it is true because Mars is a full planet, and sorry, it wasn't the Mercury, it was some Ceres or
Mercury,
Eris, some dwarf planet, right? And he said, no, because Eris is a bigger dwarf planet than Mars, because Mars is not a dwarf planet, but a full planet. So, the logic behind the answer was like, of course, Mars is not bigger dwarf planet. It's not a dwarf planet at all.
I mean, that's you touched a very good point. So it's also very important when you use the ChatGPT is to understand the answers, and also if you are not aware about some, for example, facts like this, and of course that ChatGPT, by searching database and information, I don't know, Wikipedia, whatever it is, will give you some answers, and then we'll try to convince you that, okay, this is true. I know the couple people that tell that they checked the ChatGPT and the answers were not correct. Also, in some cases, that ChatGPT clearly answered that I don't know the answer for this question. So it's not like that they can answer all the questions you ask it. So in this meaning, especially what you said, that when your son asks you about that, so by having some knowledge, you can start discussing, but not having any knowledge about that, and you just use the information and you copy paste to, I don't know, the homework or whatever, it's really risky. And that's the same for the software development, because ChatGPT is also widely used for the, that you can ask for, prepare some function in any language, and then can, answer with piece of code that it's the same story like, any other portals. You look for the information, and if you don't really know how to understand the code, that you copy paste without thinking about that doesn't make sense. So.
All right. Krzysztof, so summing up this short introduction about what is and what isn't ChatGPT, like in our personal lives, how we should use that, like to what applications we can confidently use this technology, and in which applications we should be more careful or do something extra. Like you said, it's a language model, right? So probably I imagine, I mean, I've been using that as well. Like, okay, shaping nice sentences on some topic, right? What else?
So, it's hard to say that if there are any areas that you can really use the ChatGPT, in my opinion. I mean, that because it depends mainly on the information and database it is trained on. So you can train on any any other database than for example, all the public information. It could be specifically for some professions or areas of expertise. So possibly that you can use it everywhere, but also we already know that it's widely used in many areas such as software development, marketing, education, and many of these applications are unfortunately questionable, but we will talk about this later. But there are a couple examples that are supernatural for the ChatGPT. So let's start from the chats and voice bots, for example.
Right,
And this is
Krzysztof,
something
that's actually the question I wanted to ask now. So the question is, what are the possible implementations for this technology on the market? It's new, it's novel. We've seen, I think, thousands now, or at least high hundreds of applications using actually the GPT-3 model that is available through API from OpenAI. I've seen those applications growing like mushrooming every day. Something new comes, and I think those are the early adopters and entrepreneurs that are well, having ideas and implementing new solutions. But also, just yesterday, one of the major top-tier strategic consultant companies announced a partnership with OpenAI to find good use cases and actually filter out the hype and implement at clients. And they are informing that they're working with the Coca-Cola company on implementing OpenAI's models like throughout the business in marketing in different areas. So my question is, what possible applications of ChatGPT and also other AI solutions do you see on the market?
So yeah, that's the fun fact. So the Coca-Cola is known by the products, but this company is also super digital. So there is no doubts that they really gone into one of the first, as you said, early adopters into this technology. So I don't know what's their implementation, but as I stated before, that the easiest one, what I see is chat and voice bots, and that's how it can be used. So let's imagine that you train this algorithm using the knowledge that any company has really in their knowledge bases. So about the products, about the processes, and so on. And it really opens the new possibilities for the solutions such as customer service, using chat or voice bots to help consultants find relevant information faster. That's very important.
Yeah, so
not going
what's the
through
difference?
all the knowledge bases. Yeah.
Krzysztof, what's the difference between, because we've seen chatbots on banks pages or telecoms for a long time now, and also when you call the utilities, you have to click through the it's called IVR, right, or something like that, to get to the consultant as fast as possible. What changes now?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So probably most of us has experience with the chat bots and voice bots, and as you said, that we want to immediately get to be contacted with the human consultant. Why it's like that? Because there is no flexibility. All the scenarios designed behind these products are really they are not smart in easy setting. So they are not smart. That's more about some scenarios of the conversation. And if you have any other question, it start repeating the same questions or giving you the same answers. So what will be changed for using the ChatGPT, all the algorithms at all, GTP3, is something that we will feel more in the human consultant conversation. So it will be similar, maybe not the same, but similar. And then probably as the example you told about the solar system. So probably that would be more like you digging into some questions and the algorithm will try to match really the answers to your, next steps, next questions. It will be not like just programmed for the specific scenario. That does make a huge difference. And then also, as I said, that if you are connected with a human consultant, so these guys also have to spend a lot of time looking for some information for you. So they probably, I know the reality how it is. There is no like one huge, in most of the big companies, database. There is many systems that they need to go through the information, check the information for you, and then prepare some solution. And then I'm pretty sure that the ChatGPT integrated with all of these databases, the knowledge bases, that let the companies to save a lot of money on the time spent on the customers. Of course, that taking the customer frustration in many times, because when we are calling the service lines or customer service, unfortunately not because of we are all happy and we want to express how happy we are on the services. So it allows to find the information faster, and also with a full set of information that the customer expects. So let's imagine that from my previous professional life, that you call to the utilities customer service, you want to, you have some problem with invoice, that would be something that you can talk or chat, and then with the chatbot or voice bot, and then immediately you can ask the question, okay, what was the reason for, the last invoice? That's why it's so high, for example. And then looking into database, the algorithm can immediately answer to you that was because of, I don't know, maybe you changed the tariff, for example, or maybe there is any other problem with your, with your energy consumption and so on. So definitely it's something that, as I said, is easiest usage, the chat and voice bots, but it will be super helpful, in my opinion.
All right, and I believe those would be slightly different implementations of ChatGPT. Probably something more as a Bing chat. We see it's still in, let's say, early access. The Bing chat that is actually connecting ChatGPT to the internet. And when you use it, it's a different experience because it searches the web for the information you're looking for and trying to give you the answer that you're looking for, and not a list of links, but still provides the list of links for you to double check if the information is that what you're looking for. Okay, Krzysztof, so you mentioned two major applications here, so voice bots and well, chatting with customer service. What else comes to your mind in terms of possible disruptive implementations?
So that could be, something that it will be, subject for discussion probably, but the medical services. Also, of course, the basic ones. So we can imagine that already we have some solutions, some products, portals used in US mainly. That's in European Union is quite difficult, but then you can jump into some discussion, give the information to the using the chat. Okay, so I have a high temperature and any other symptoms, and then there is the algorithm, but still not the smart, that will try to give you some information. So do this. You can go to the doctor, or you don't have to go to the doctor. It's something easy. But we can imagine that by teaching the algorithm using the medical data, case studies, and then simple medical consultations will not require making an appointment, even for such popular telephone advice that we widely use now after the COVID. But the same use case can be, I don't know, applied for basic law services. So let me say today that we cannot really imagine that the machine can answer you some questions and then give you some information. But in my opinion, also taking the aspect of the conversation you can have with ChatGPT, it makes difference. It's making those solutions smart, really smart. Only big problem is here is so are the regulations, and then in short, the question is who will take the responsibility for instructions given by ChatGPT. Of course, you can use all the disclaimers that is
But
just to
but just to be sure,
yeah.
we shouldn't use the current ChatGPT from OpenAI to get that medical advice.
We shouldn't use Google for that, but probably most of
That's
the
right.
people are doing that.
That's right.
Yeah,
We
so
always
that's
when this topic pops up of using AI for medical advice, I always there are like of course very good arguments why we shouldn't do that and why we shouldn't use ChatGPT for that. This is a language model not trained on medical data. But then I have the vision of the future. Like every science fiction movie, you have the spaceship, and there is a medical bay, and there is a robot that is actually curing the wounded astronaut or coming back from the mission. So
yeah.
this is the direction we are going towards.
Yeah, that's the matter of the database still. Sorry, I'm repeating that, but it's still really directly connected with the information that you can that you can use to train the algorithms. And by the way, it's not the future. That's something that already happening. And the latest news published by OpenAI, and they informed that they have a new implementation called BioGPT. And it's exactly, maybe not exactly about the medical consultations, but it's the tool trained on previously published biomedical research articles. In total, 15 millions pieces of the content and titles and abstracts, and that will be used for the in the area of the medical industry, to help the scientists go through the research and so on. So
Yeah, I
it's
read
not
the news, and
we are not far away. Yeah.
it's astonishing that this technology is actually able to pass the medical tests at the same level as human beings. So it's a Turing
Yeah.
test in medicine. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to actually providing medical advice to so much more people than accessible today. Even if it's still not perfect, then if you have a smartphone somewhere in a remote from us a remote country where you don't have access to a doctor, that could be lifesaver.
It could be, and also because we don't talk about the general services. I mean, let's assume that your medical services provider use this technology. So it also has access to, maybe that's also that about privacy aspect, but this algorithm can have access to your medical data records already. So it will not completely blind advice or consultation. It could be also that based on your previous problems or visits you had and what was the root cause of having some symptoms and so on. So I truly believe that could be the access to these services can be faster. In many times can also simple. Maybe it's too much to say, but saves the lives that you identify something faster having this chat or I don't know LuxMed, Medicover, whatever. That could be a very useful tool. But as I said, this is also what you stated. It shouldn't be like only one tool, and especially if you don't understand the answers and correctly, that you shouldn't be too hurry to implement only this. So probably it would be like a first contact and then go to doctor.
Right, and still in early stages. I think the bio
Oops, we have some problems. I left alone.
Right, sorry for my technical problems. Of course, it always
No
happens
problem,
when it
no
shouldn't. Anyways, I was saying.
Yeah, Murphy's law.
Yeah, of course. I was just saying that I haven't heard about the like practical implementations of the bio GPT yet. So this is still a melody of the
Yeah,
future, and we are just like playing futurologists here, or maybe a little bit shorter term, like what will happen in the next couple of months, because the rate of adoption of the ChatGPT is just astonishing. Like the first week, 1 million users. And right
Yeah.
now in February, it's 100 million users. It's the fastest growing like software platform ever. So I think we are talking about the next couple of months, not years, right?
Yeah, and then also that there are some, the very smart people are saying that this year will be taken completely by this technology. I mean, that's everything what will be, and all the companies what they consider and so on. So they really look for this technology as something that they can use in many aspects. So we touch just two possibilities, and as you said, that maybe there are not for the moment the real practical implementations, but it also shows how fast it grows and the usage. The number of the users is because it was, as far as I know, that the OpenAI also shortened the time of the beta testing, so that only some people were invited or some companies. So they speed up the release, and then that's why we need to be also aware that all the informations that we put there into chat, and that there is the disclaimer that all the information can be used also for training the algorithms. So yeah, that's another aspect how we use it, and then probably the most of the people from 150 million, as I said, that don't really care too much about that. Probably we can discuss this later about the the social responsibility and so on. Also, I want to mention about other interesting implementation that's I try to really imagine if it's possible or not, and then let's talk about the software. So some people knows the technology that or the language, the very old language, COBOL. But in this area, the area of the software development, ChatGPT can be, such as modern COBOL. So let's imagine that you don't have really to write the code, but you can use some services that will translate user stories into the application that is ready to use immediately. In my opinion, that's a huge opportunity for the software houses and the services like I don't know, Wix, for example, to automate the basics of apps development, because it's always the matter what is the software about, but for the basic usage, it's really, really, really easy. Now you can ask for the ChatGPT to propose as we discussed before, propose the code that you can implement in your solution. So why not ask about the code and then compilation? That could be one of the future usage, and that will also save money for
That's
operational money.
that's great idea, and it is actually the codex part of the DaVinci model, which is the GPT-3, is actually already implemented in some applications. One of the no-code front-end tools based on Flutter language, based on Flutter, which compiles to Dart. Okay, leaving out the technical aspect of that, you can already say that, like, okay, write me a code that will, or the component that will do this and that, and the codex, which is connected with the application, will generate the code, and you can use it in your no-code application, just like that. So this is really great, and I think the moment that ChatGPT, that OpenAI releases the API to ChatGPT and makes it commercial and not research preview as it is right now, we're gonna see an explosion of this, conversational code building. Because right now GPT-3 allows you, to give a prompt and receive an answer, but no discussion with the code. And when it changes to the chat mode, you're gonna be able to propose some changes to the code and actually, shape it to the way you like. But Krzysztof, maybe like now moving to the, like, still staying in the practical implementations of the AI models and ChatGPT, how will your industry, you think, will be changed within the next 5 years or 5 months? You tell me, by this technology.
I wish to have in 5 months, but it's always the software development is different. But yeah, that's I see the huge potential there. So basically, our services, as I said in the intro, we do loss prevention services. So basically, what does that mean? That our auditors are looking for some information based on by having the point of sales data and the video, and combining it together to identify some incidents. And also, I can imagine that training the algorithms based on this data, that would be easier for auditors and the customers to answer some questions. So basically, that's if there is employee for, I don't know, that's hygiene problems and so on, that you can really easy way ask the solution like ChatGPT or DTIQ GPT for some specific questions, like why it's happened or how often it's happened, and tell me more about the employee. So, for example, how long it works for us. So today, that's all the informations are not super easy to gather, because that needs to be analyzed, and then we can easily save the money and save the time for the customers and our auditors to look through all these connected informations at the end. So yeah, so I see that could be very helpful. As I said, definitely not within the 5 months, but maybe a couple years. It's something that we can use in our business too.
Okay, so mainly data analysis. That's what you're pointing out.
Yeah.
Okay.
The data analysis, and again, the aspect of the conversational analysis. I mean, that's like you can really ask and dig in. So we can compare to BI, so business intelligence. So then when you go from top down to gather some informations, but that would be like a smart business intelligence. So then you can ask the questions, and then depends on the answers that you can move in other directions with your next question. So so that's mainly about data analysis, because our business is about data analysis.
So what you're saying is, right now, for data analysis, you have to have a data analyst with BI solution, and then he has to look at the data, shape it, clean it, and then probably build some dashboards and look at the answers. And what you're saying is, we're gonna be able to ask to the DTIQ GPT to ask about, I don't know what's the sample, like you said, where I'm losing money, basically, right?
Yeah,
and why?
Yeah, that's
and it's gonna perform the analysis.
Yeah, and even more, that today we prepare the reports for the customers about their business, so specific location and then incidents there. we give the scores and so on. So I can imagine in the future that if the auditor, that's our colleagues from this department, are becoming more investigators, and they can use this tool to prepare very valuable report that will contain some specific patterns, that will contain some answers and also the insights at the end. That's the story. That's the vision I have with this tool.
This is actually touching upon our next topic, I think, or the next question I have for you. You said that our analysts will be turned into investigators more. So my question here would be like, what are the ethical, societal implications of using ChatGPT, those models, and how can we ensure they are used responsibly? Yeah.
That's very good question. So also that's one of the example, or maybe fun fact I can share with you. That's yesterday I had the conversation of 3 young people, probably the high school, and then one of them complaining that's about that he didn't prepare yet the homework, and then the second one, another one also use the ChatGPT, will write it for you. Don't worry about that. And then also that's surprising. That's the 2 facts. So first of all, how easy the kids are switching to this solution. I don't know how the teachers can avoid this situation and really distinguish what was really someone's work, maybe based on the previous course. That's always one of the method, but also that's in our previous conversation, you also stated that it's something surprising that the guy didn't know about chatbot. So there are still people that they don't know about the chatbot, so ChatGPT. And then in general, the problem with the new technologies is not that they are good or bad, and it's the matter how we will use it. Same way as we can use guns, for example, and that we can use for the security, but of course we know that many examples that are not really for this reason. And in my opinion, that the biggest dilemma in a case of like ChatGPT is whether the world is ready for it or not, because of the incorporation of any technology brings you small baggage of consequences, small or big. That's the problem. And then, believe me or not, but if someone want to just save the money on this, or save the time, or try to cheat someone else using the results taken from ChatGPT, that it would be like a short term results, nothing more. There is a one aspect, and also the information that a couple weeks ago we had a chance to hear about probably it was the BuzzFeed portal. When they started using the ChatGPT to write the articles, they stock exchange, they stock value that's rise by 7% within the week. And what does that mean really? Is it good? Maybe of course for the overall, for the company is big, and then they succeed because they have better results. But also I can argue that it's in the short term, because that I can bet without any hesitation that the number of the questions to ChatGPT about which stocks I should invest is huge now. So that people are asking for some of the questions that are super risky doing the business. And then also the question is, what does that mean for financial market? It will be indirectly controlled by artificial intelligence. Maybe not indirectly, because the people still need to ask and then use this information. So that's the very big problem I see. Also, in the beginning of this of our discussion, is the same like with the programmers. So if you understand the code, so it doesn't matter if you take it from any other portal or from ChatGPT. you can do a lot of bad things just using it without understanding it. So that's
actually
the main problem.
actually a great point you touched upon. Like, what do you think will happen? Because with every with every technical revolution, like humanity hopes, oh yeah, this will save us time so that we have more time for leisure or relaxing. And I see with this technology, our like in office work, of course, in software, in like based on words or language jobs, this can improve productivity by tenfold because the programmer will not be a coder anymore, but more of an architect of the solution. He or she has to think like, okay, what do I need, and then structure it, and then connect the dots and everything. But do you think like societal implication would be okay? We now double the output of the GDP that we produced, or we will still do the same but have more time?
Very good observation. To be honest, and before we just identify any AI technologies that will be, useful when we want to switch from very low-paid, repeatable tasks, for example. And then now the range of the profession that can be affected. I mean, affected. As I said, that it's not always like taking the job from someone, but changing the profession. You stated that the developers, that maybe they will become more architects in this in the new ChatGPT world. But in everyday activities now, we can see that how it switched for the marketing services, copywriters, for example. That's the first impact, really. I know personally, some of the examples that the people really that who write the articles, that doing that all the marketing for some companies. There are two possibilities. They start using the ChatGPT to write the articles because it's easy, or maybe the customers of them that they decided to cancel the contract because they don't need any more set of services. They can do and hire someone and then ask to write the articles using the ChatGPT. So that's real impact. And also that taking the example about the so from the other hand, the medical services, I don't know, law offices, law services that are different professions that can be now impacted by this technology.
What do you mean by
if they can
impacted,
switch?
Krzysztof? What do you mean by impacted? Because so many people right now are in fear of losing their jobs because, content writers, for example. Like, does it mean they lose their jobs or impacted in other way?
So first of all, it's sorry, but it's never the case that 100% of that the people, the participants in this market will find a new occupation, new job. That's the reality, and it's happening. We see and discuss the AI technologies and so on. It's happening all the time. Taking the last 100 years, we can analyze how our daily life and our jobs changed. But from this perspective, in my opinion, and I'm getting back to the first statement or the questions, that if we are ready to acquire this technology, because now it's like everyone is crazy about that. And then personally, I'm not afraid about the huge changes, that we are the people who can adjust, and we know, as I said, for many years how to deal with some of the changes, even they are so fast. From this perspective, what I want to say by impacted is means that maybe we'll be pushed to change the profession, to change the way how we do all the things. Copywriters, maybe, but the marketing agencies, maybe they should start looking for how to use this technology to offer the better services to the customers. So then customers will not have really willingness to cancel the contracts and so on. That could be one of the scenarios. So I'm not super afraid, but it's the fact that it will change the job market.
Yesterday I listened to a podcast which was touching more detail about the impact on societies here in Poland as well, like how we should approach ChatGPT in education. This is not the topic of our discussion today, but one sentence I like is that those who choose to ignore this technology will lose the most. Who'll just say, okay, I'm going to do my job just as I did before. Those are the ones that will not, gain productivity and will lose against the others. But
yeah, you are correct that we have seen that situation many times. So that's I will not repeat, but all the companies that they were, skeptical for using like smartphones, for example, producing the smartphones or digital cameras and so on. We know all these stories. That's how it ends up. And then also we need to remember that it's nothing that will change within the months and the next year or two. The change will be, we can see then we can. From my perspective, it's something that will be, will take years, 5, 10, 15 years, just to compare to electric cars, for example. That's, couple years ago, we heard about that, how it will change the job market for the current industry, because the complexity of the cars, or the fuel powered cars versus the electric cars, it's totally different. And then we heard about the millions of the places, the jobs that there will be, but it will not happen for the moment. That's
course.
Even as great technology that still needs years to adopt in many aspects, like infrastructures and so on.
Of course, I mean, we in our technological bubble, we are super excited about the technology, but the real economy, right? The real economy, the cars, like the ChatGPT won't fix your car. Okay, it may help the technician maybe with going through some stuff, but of course, that won't change.
I need to remember. I need to remember that statement. That ChatGPT will not fix your car. Very good. Very good.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe last question to you, Krzysztof, and then we'll move to QA. We have some questions from the public today. So, how do you see the role of human employees evolving in conjunction with the use of AI technology, ChatGPT, but also others? So, we already touched upon that topic, saying that okay, my auditors will become investigators. Do you have any other ideas here how we as people and human labor as humans will be affected?
So I think that's also you touched one of the point, that's the programmers becoming more architects, but also we have to remember that the algorithms needs to be fed with data. Someone needs to do all these jobs. So basically, all the rule works here also. The garbage in, garbage out. So we need to remember that all the informations need to be prepared correctly. That's we know that from the many other examples from our, not only from our business, but from many businesses, that we have a lot of informations, but then when we start to use the informations for any reason, it could be AI algorithm, but any other, the integration with the systems, that there is a huge work behind this that needs to be done to prepare the data correctly. So it's nothing like today we can simple, attach the solution to the database and it will work immediately. So maybe there are huge space for the people who will train and prepare data for the algorithms. That's can be one of the gap on the market today, because now we are doing all these things alone, without the technology.
So you're saying actually what every technological breakthrough brought us. So the simpler job gets replaced with the more complex one. And actually, if you look at the net effects of the technological progress, like the I don't know, the chainsaw or anything of this kind, it's just pushes us more specializing, more higher skill jobs, and actually a net positive effect in total.
Yes, in general, yes. That's my opinion, and as I said, I'm not afraid about that the new technologies. Even though the fun fact is, I was the last one from my company who really touched and logged into ChatGPT. It was because I said, okay, let's see how it evolves. But also that is really important, as you said, to be early adopters. Then you have a time to figure out how do you want to change your organization and what are the new needs in terms of for example, positions you have in or expertise that you need to have, and then plan all this change over the years, not just start using these technologies. So, but also that's not all can become the programmer. Not all can become the data writer, for example. That's also needs to be clearly stated. Is some of the people can be impacted, but as I said again, so it's already happened. But for any other technology we discover as a humanity over the 100 years. So, but we don't see, hopefully, knocking the woods, the huge crisis because of this. So we have a new technology in place, and still we, as a humanity, we can deal with it. So
I can see like even OpenAI is bringing up this discussion. Like we need to start talking about that on policy levels, and as countries, for example, the education system right now, majority of university schools, they just simply ban usage of ChatGPT. But this is really conservative. If it's out there, it's gonna be always a war between teachers and students and pupils if they used it or not. And I see from Harvard business school, an outline. Okay, you can use ChatGPT, and these are the rules. You need to provide the prompts. You need to provide the way you used it, and because of that, we expect more from you. That the text will be flawless, or the essays will be flawless, etc., etc. It is a great discussion, Krzysztof, and I'd like to. There are some questions from the audience to you today, so let's start from the top. I'm curious, how can we legally ensure that the model that is used to train the OpenAI is fed a valid medical information? Also, how would it react to changes in the medicine fields with new research? So how can we legally ensure that this is valid medical information, and how we make sure it's up to date if there is new research?
I don't feel I'm the correct the person to answer this question 100%, but just my gut feeling is that if you really involve such as technology in this area, as I said, there is a bunch of consequences. So the legal aspect is very important here, and then it's nothing that you can solve by the technology. You just need to solve from the regulations perspective and any other methods that can be simply legalized somehow. I don't feel really that this this problem will appear very fast. It will be like a couple years from now. It will be more like trying this. So how many people will start using these services? And then, of course, as I said, the medical service supplier, the vendor, that's some of the companies we know, but there are many over the world. That's how they will really ensure the customers that when they start using this technology, that they will get the correct answers about them. And then, all the data will be updated there. And of course, how many disclaimers you need to sign up before you start using this technology. But I don't really have a clue how it can be, legalized from this perspective.
Right. Even with the bio GPT model that you mentioned before, there are some concerns. For example, the recent research in new fields is usually biased towards, the popular solution right now, and then some breakthrough research comes up and then slowly it changes to other directions. So if you train the model on this data, it will have this bias as well. So it's a
Of course.
really complex field, legally not regulated yet. But from what I know, well, you could probably combine like ChatGPT trained on medical data and Bing Chat for the canary channel of research, something like that. Maybe combine it both. Second
But
question.
isn't
Sorry, yeah. Would you like
sorry.
to add something?
Just one comment. Isn't the question about still who is using what technology? Because if the scientists are using this technology, they also can really identify all the problems with the answers. That's we as regular people, for example, that when we will use the medical services, we are not really. So this is the main problem. If you compare that to the bio GPT, because it's designed not for the end users. Let me say that designed for the scientists.
Okay. I think you touched upon this question already, but let me ask it again. I'm a marketing content writer. Should I worry that ChatGPT will take over my job?
Okay. No, don't be worried about that. So if you are good, and smart, what I believe in this, that's probably is the way how you will start to use this technology to improve your work. I told that it's nothing that's stopping be a copywriter. That's to become better copywriter using this technology. That's what I will really start, looking for when I will be the copywriter. It will be my job.
So learn how to use it, how to leverage the power of AI, and then you
Of
have
course.
nothing to be worried about. Great.
Exactly. Maybe by using this technology, that the copywriters can, do more work in the same period of time. That's can grow the revenue. Let's think a positive way. Don't be afraid, because you cannot stop the change. That's for sure.
So be part of it.
Be part of it.
Next question is what is the most creative and non-traditional way of using AI that you have seen so far? The most creative non-traditional
Creative.
way. I think AI in general, not ChatGPT in particular.
So to be honest, that the AI exists in our IT world for many years, but the hype on this, that's become like in my opinion, the last 5, maybe 7 years. And then I think that there is a lot of very, very, good examples in terms of the computer vision, how it can leverage some of the, industries and markets, and also services, that all the security aspect, identifying that different situations, that from our experience, that we have when we have video data in US and other countries, that, for example, there are companies that can use the AI models to identify robbery. And when someone is using the gun, what is tricky here is that if you are in Texas, it's nothing, unusual if you have a gun. But the case is how you use the gun inside of the store or any other property. And then there is a lot of very good examples, outstanding, how the technology can help, not just grow the business, but also help the users in this. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I share one as well. Actually, I've seen a post on LinkedIn of a gentleman who wrote his application using as like visual recognition in a medical field to identify skin changes. So the user would take a picture of a skin change, AI would analyze that, and then come back with a recommendation to go see a doctor, or you're quite all right. And actually, he shared recently that first user, not the very first user, but the first user he knows of who got this recommendation went to doctor and began treatment, and the application helped actually identify the need to go to a doctor. So that is some real case of actually saving humans' lives because of technology, which is always great.
So another example, maybe the last one of the last ones. So it's like we know all the smart devices, smart watches, and so on. Let's see how this market in the medical services grows over the years. It's really helpful for the seniors that when you can really monitor, the doctor or I don't know, family, for example, you're a senior, parents and so on, and you have instant information about the condition, which is helpful because that's everything can happen in a minute, and then you already know what is going on. You can call emergency and so on. And also it's driven by the AI technology and algorithms that can identify some of the problems, like someone falls or something different happen, like a blood pressure and so on. Many examples.
Yeah, actually, when I think about that, during only the recent months, I've seen so many new applications going online and changing stuff and allowing to build websites automatically, so to say, for simple use cases or for very fast iteration. This is a great first step. So really great. Okay, we hit an hour, so I think that's the time to wrap it up. Krzysztof, thank you very much for your thoughts and for this discussion today. It was really extremely interesting, and I wish we could continue, and I think we could for another hour, 2 or 10 actually. It was a pleasure to have you here.
For sure.
Thank you very much, guys, for watching us. Don't forget to join the Agile Product Builders community on Slack and benefit from the joint forces of digital experts. We believe that together we can do more, and we'll be happy to welcome you as our members. Krzysztof, any final words from you?
Thank you very much again for having me. That's the great discussion. Definitely we will continue. And also the final message. Again, don't be afraid about the technology. Be part of the change.
Thank you very much, and have a great rest of the morning, rest of the evening, or night, wherever you're listening to from.